Good morning and welcome. My name is Louis Johnson. I am here to talk about Make America Moral Again because I'm a MAGA person. I'm also a Christian, and I want us to get back to the morals and the values that this country was founded on. Because unless we get back to that, we will never be as great as we could be. Okay? There's going to be a ceiling put on MAGA unless we can get back to morality again. Our country was founded on very strong values, very strong beliefs, and the Constitution has used a lot of biblical principles to put our Constitution together. And MAGA is a big tent. And even though I'm a Bible believing Christian, follower of Christ, I recognize that there are other religions and others that are not religious at all who still believe in these values and these beliefs. They line up pretty much with what I believe. So I would encourage anybody with a different guidebook. I use the Bible, but you may have a guidebook that is just as moral and value relevant to our conversation. So I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to isolate you, but you're going to have to speak up for your beliefs. Okay. My belief is that we get it from the Bible. That's where I believe our Constitution is rooted in. I believe our founding fathers were basically Christians. To what degree, I don't know. I wasn't there. But they certainly are influenced by biblical values and morals. And like I said, maybe, other religions. I know other religions are just as moral and just as strong believed as I am. So I invite you to join in this, make your own video, comment down below, tell us what you think. MAGA's a big tent, so Mama's a big tent. Now, what I want to speak to you about today is something that we've got to get past. I think we're getting past it. There are less and less, it seems, but it's going to be a constant battle. We've got to stay louder than them. And if we don't, and if we get quiet again, they're going to take us down the tubes with morality. And an immoral, unprincipled society will not thrive if it can even survive. So I want to talk to you a moment about Jesus Christ. And while he was down here on earth, he had his apostles, and he had many people following. He had lots of crowds. And when he spoke, he realized that some people simply would not accept the truth, even though he's standing there telling them. They're hard-hearted. I can't tell you how many times, especially when he was speaking in parables, that when he pulled his apostles aside to further explain what the parable meant, he said, He who has ears, let him hear. But some, they won't. They've got ears, they're just not going to hear. And Jesus knew that. He knew the Pharisees and or most of the Pharisees, a lot of the Sadducees and chief priests and those kinds of people. They weren't going to give up. It didn't matter how many times. And that's what's happening in our society today, man. I see it really big time these days. And they're loud, these people. But fortunately, their stupidity is ruining their own plan. It's just not working for them. But we have got to continue to not allow them to take the narrative away from us. Us is a huge group. Okay, we are huge. The loud ones are a small group, but boy, are they loud. This past week, those poor Democrats, I don't know how they can talk. They scream so much. They had microphones and they were still screaming. I don't know if you've been in an auditorium where someone is screaming in a mic, but it can get pretty uncomfortable for the person that's sitting there. But I could take some of these folks, I think, take them out into the yard and say, look, now this is in summertime. I know in wintertime it's different, but in summertime, I would say, look, this grass is green. And they would argue. They wouldn't believe it. No. No matter how I showed them, I could take other green things out there to match up and say, this is a green shade. This is a shade of green. No. Okay. We have the same thing going on. Abortion is murder. It is, period. There is no debate. You cannot argue with the fact that abortion is murder. It just is. That is a human being in the womb. At the point of conception, that is a human being. But yet, we can abort baby. Our fetus is up to 9 months because they're not humans. They don't have any rights. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And in God's law, they certainly have. So we got to keep it up. We've got to keep going. We've got to keep pushing. Immigration. I don't know how many times Trump, Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, Pete Hegseth, they're people that they just talk to. The only people being immigrated or deported right now are violent criminals, gang members, which are terrorists, cartel members, which are terrorists, and not even, wait a minute, back up. Those are the only ones, the violent ones. The next phase, the next thing they open up is 1 million or so that have already gotten deportation notices and they simply haven't shown up and nobody's gone after them. I mean, they were supposed to be deported and they weren't. So that's the next phase. But the Democrats would have you believe that they are taking grandmas and taking them away from their grandchildren. You would think they were going into churches all over the country and removing law-abiding, although illegal immigrants can't be law-abiding because they're illegal, but They're not violent, so he's not even after them right now. That's another discussion. Who knows? Um, it's going to take a long time to get rid of all the bad actors and the ones that I don't know if they're bad actors or not. They were supposed to be deported, and they just simply disappeared into the United States. Now you can tell the Democrats and the libs that that's not what we're doing, and they don't hear. They don't. They have ears. I mean, most of them, I guess, I've seen them. They look like they have ears, but they're not getting it. They're not hearing it. They refuse. And that right there is a moral problem. Okay. If you can abort a baby and walk away saying, hey, no problem, you're immoral. And if you want, like Chicago, the mayor, not the residents, from everything I hear, the residents want these illegal, violent, criminal aliens out of here. But Chicago mayor and the governor, oh, they're gonna protect their uh, illegal immigrants. Yes, they are. We can't even get the violent ones from them. Chicago residents, Pam Bondi is suing. She's doing everything she can. Tom Homan, as far as I know, they've got people out of Chicago. I don't, but now apparently they're being outed where they're going and stuff. I don't know. But again, that's just another one, And then this Doge thing, this is great. Anybody with any morals or values would say, look, we can't be wasting this money on ridiculous things like transgender opera for Ireland. What in the world? Okay. And all this money for DEI policies in other countries. A lot of these countries, number one, they don't have those kind of programs, and they're not most likely not going to have them. But they'll take your money. You better believe they'll do that. Maybe they'll kick a few bucks back to you. I mean, this is immoral. And again, the truth of the matter, if they just had the ears to hear with, they've got ears, but apparently they're stopped up. But if they had the ears to hear with, they would hear what's actually happening. Okay. What Doge is doing is they are finding mishandling of money, misspending of money, lost money. Ukraine don't even know where Biden says he sent so much money, and the Ukraine guy says, no, I ain't got that kind of money. I didn't get it. I got about half of it. So where'd that money go? Went to somebody. Apparently not to where it was supposed to go. And then that's the other problem. We give money to countries for relief efforts, say, or we give food to relief efforts in another country. And then we find out, well, it didn't actually go to the people who needed it. It went to the people in power. I guess they were hungry too. And they said, heck, we're going to feed ourselves. That's not what the money was given to them for. Maybe for themselves, but they were supposed to spread it around, get some food out to some other people. That's the moral thing to do. It just is. And it's an immoral act of a country to give all this spent, misplaced money, this abusive giving away of money. And we have folks in North Carolina sleeping in tents in the wintertime because we're so busy sending money over to Afghanistan to promote uh, transgender in the workplace, which Afghanistan, um, transgender DEI in the workforce. Come on, this is this is Afghanistan. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they may even be controlled by ISIS, maybe, or they're controlled by some terrorists, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, so what are we doing? You know, we're abusing our own people so we can allow other countries to mistreat theirs in some cases. They're not going after people in need. They're not. If it's a legitimate charity, they're not gonna not give them money. Um, they're only going after the fraud and the waste and all of that nonsense. So make America moral again. We're in our first week of trying to get this thing going. I've got some folks helping me out in Prayers for Our Nation and Truth Social. And if you um, are on Truth Social, please go to Prayers for Our Nation or contact me, Rev LPJ, and let's talk about it. If you're on Facebook, you can go to Just Me Thinking or contact me, Louis, Louis Johnson. I'd love to talk to you. We've got a few people in each of those groups that are stepping up and stepping in and helping with sharing and liking. I still can't get many comments. I don't know. I can't get many shares. I get a lot of views and I get some likes, but that doesn't really tell me anything. I want to make this movement grow and I want it to be the very best it can be because I want it to support MAGA, just as Make America Healthy again, MAHA. They support MAGA. Robert F. Kennedy jumped in there, the Trump campaign, saying, hey, I don't agree with everything you're saying, but I agree that we got to make America healthy again. And so there it is. Now we want to make America moral again. Just another support, okay? Just another rung on the ladder, okay? MAGA's up here. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We got to take the MAHA steps and we got to take the MAMA steps and what other steps you can think of, okay? We want to help MAGA. So please, again, like it, share it, and comment. Please comment. Even if you think it's the stupidest idea in the world, tell me, okay? I would love for you to just comment, okay? Amen, great job. I was bored. I didn't listen to about half of it. I mean, tell me because I'm the one who needs to know, okay? Anyway, thank you very much. And I'm also on YouTube. And I do have a YouTube channel, believe it or not. And I've actually had some people looking at what I was doing. So I'm excited about that. It's a brand new movement. So again, thank you. I ask that you pray that we would be able to grow and support MAGA. I ask that you would pray for President Trump and all of his team. I would ask you to pray for America and we the people, and even those misguided ones that don't have ears to hear. Okay? We want them to have ears that hear. We want them to not have hard hearts. We want them to just simply see the reality of these situations. Thank you very much, and go both teams in the Super Bowl. I'm a Steelers fan, and I know what went wrong with us. We simply didn't get there, though. So now, I hope it's a good game. I'm glad Trump is going to be there. He's going to have his pregame interview, which I loved for him to do. I think he's even going to do something at halftime, and that would be something exciting. I'm not saying halftime in the game, but I think he's going to do an interview, or at least that's what I heard. So we'll see. Okay. Again, thank you very much. Have a great Sunday.